Hi, good evening. Can you hear me? Okay, I don't know, I can't hear you. Um, I can't hear you. Not yet. Okay, yeah, I can hear you right now.
Oh, you
Hi,
can. Okay. Is
I
that
can hear
okay?
you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Cool.
Good evening and welcome to today's Table Talk Show. I'm so
Cool.
happy to have you here. Yeah, I'm so happy to have you today on my talk show. We are supposed to be three of us. Is many waiting for Mr. Azaya to join the broadcast. So I don't just give him another 30 minutes countdown and wait for him to join.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, so I think he's yet to join. So
Sure.
I don't know. Okay. So I think we have to just continue wait for him to join later on. So but
Sure.
we'll quickly send him a message on I don't know.
Sure.
You quickly send him a message, yeah. Okay, so welcome to today's table talk show. So I will have to start off by introducing myself, making a formal introduction. My name is John Shula. I am popularly known by Duchess of Code. I code actually, so that's my nickname, Duchess of Code, and I'm also the founder and the CEO of FemCode Africa. So FemCode Africa is an African startup that trains females with coding skills. So, so that's what we do basically. And yeah, I'm
Cool.
also the founder of Shula's Table Talk Show. So, Shula's Table Talk Show, what it does is it helps business owners to clear out some issues, the confusions they have pertaining business, and for techies or persons that want to join or start a career in tech to
Mhm.
get some clarifications in some aspect of tech or almost aspect or the whole aspect of tech. So we have Shula Stable Talk Show the second week of every month, yes, and that is Shula Stable Talk Show on tech. While the second or the last Saturday of every month is Shula's Table Talk Show on business. Okay, yeah, he's here. Hi, Azaya, welcome.
Hi, I can't hear. I can't hear anyone.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. We can hear
Hi,
you.
Eriol.
Hello.
Oh, whoa, I don't know what's wrong. I can't hear anyone. My speaker. Oh, I've seen it. Fixed it. Boom. Yeah,
You can hear us right now.
yeah, I can.
Okay, yeah. So good evening and welcome. You actually missed my introduction, but I'll have to go again. So my name is John Shulamite. Yeah, I'm the founder and CEO of FemCode Africa, an African startup that trains females with coding skill. And I'm popularly known as Duchess of Code. So that's actually my Twitter handle too. And yeah, my name on Facebook too. So Duchess of Code. So welcome to this table talk show. I'm so happy to have both of you here to talk about design. Man, I mean, I'm a fan of the both of you. Yeah, seriously, I'm a fan, a huge fan of the both of you. So I would really want us to go up with the introduction first. And yeah, I would really start from my lady. So let's have you do the introduction. So I don't know, did you hear me?
You want
Yeah,
introductions?
Yes,
Who do you
yes.
want to go first?
Yes, you want you to go first.
Do you want to go first, Zara?
yeah,
No,
sure,
you
you can.
want you to go first. Go first, sorry.
You want me to go first? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sure, definitely.
I'm so sorry. It's been such a busy day for me. This is kind of like my relaxing, having a chat time. So apologies if I'm
No problem.
a
No
little-
worries.
Okay, cool. So I'm Eriol, Eriol Fox. I have been doing design for 11 years now. So I didn't study design at all. I didn't study technology. I'm self-taught from back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s is when I started teaching myself design and sort of working with computers and things like that. And I sort of, what's the word, like crawled my way and kind of pushed my way into the technology industry.
Yeah.
Having self-taught myself, I did loads of night classes. I was working loads of hours while studying to get a job in technology, essentially, and a design job. So right now I am in between roles, but I'm looking at joining some organizations that are working on open source government related technology here in the UK. But previously, I've worked for a number of different organizations on the design side of things. I've worked for tech startups working on apps, doing UX and UI and lots of product design. I've worked for big .com websites, insurance and different kinds of things like that. And then most recently, I've been working in the open source software area. So I worked for Ushahidi, which is a humanitarian Kenyan tech organization. And then most recently, I've been working for the Open Food Network, which is another international open source software organization looking at sustainable food systems as their designers. So yeah, I think that's me. Yeah.
Wow, that's actually a lot. Seriously, that's actually a lot. I love the fact that you said you actually crawled your way to tech, to design. At least it helps everybody or makes a lot of persons comfortable with every advice and answer you're going to give to me. So let's hear you. Yeah, Zara, let's hear you. Isaac, sorry.
Okay, yeah. You can call me anyone, like Zara, Isaac, anyone works. Well, anyway, I'm so excited to be doing this with Eriol Fox. So Eriol Fox here is like a mentor to me.
Oh,
You know,
really?
of course.
So this is like a mother and son, right?
Yeah, well, something like that. Well, beyond that, I whenever I look at Eriol Fox, I am motivated because uh, I believe that everything will just align for me to come to Oscar Fest. And since I met Eriol Fox, my paths, to my career actually got aligned. I'm not lying. I've not even told her the good news. Eriol Fox, I'll be joining a company in soon. A company based in Los Angeles, Chicago, and it comes with location.
Oh, that's so nice.
You're gonna be moving. You're moving to the US.
Oh yeah, sure, but I won't be flying to the US yet. I will be traveling to Europe. Well, it's low key, but I know people are saying it, but I don't care. I'll be traveling to Europe in September. So from there, it will be great for me to like come and see you. UK, Belgium. I can also attend conferences and be part of stuff that Drupal have been doing. No, that's like, so I prefer Europe to
That's a
US.
win for you. I'm so happy for you. That's nice. That's so nice.
Yeah,
I'm so happy for you.
yeah, I'm grateful, like I'm grateful. I'm so happy that my efforts, and everything, everything I've been trying to do so far have been aligned. So yeah, sure. I'm so happy you invited me over here, Shola. Is it sure, right?
Yeah, Shula.
Okay,
Yes,
Shula,
Shula.
Shula.
Yes,
So
yes, please.
well, you asked about me. Well,
Yeah.
you asked like my bio. I'm an unknown person, but I just feel I'm doing little. I've not started it yet, but so far so good. I appreciate my journey. So yeah, my name is Isaac Sixtus Chizaram. I'm an Igbo from Imo State.
Mm-hmm.
Where I've built a
Ndewo,
personal brand.
ndewo.
Definitely, yeah, yeah, crazy. Yeah, I've built a personal brand, in the design tech space, with Zara. I know that there's a Zara fashion brand, but my name is Zara. Yeah, so I've used that to be like vessel, like colors, typography, even the personality too. So I'm a visual and a brand experience designer with over 5 years of experience in design, track record in brand communication, community management, the marketing design on a global scale. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, I love
That's huge. That's huge.
huge.
That's huge.
Oh my god,
That's huge.
I'm so happy you heard Eriol Fox mention everything about like their bio. So all I will say right now is I'm just a baby right now, and Eriol Fox knows that.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're very
yeah,
professional, Zari. I'm not surprised you got offered a job. Like you
Oh,
are so good at
yeah.
what you do. So
Exactly. You
it,
are. You are.
it was
Yeah.
it, it was a matter of time before somebody found you and took your expertise, and it was only a matter of time. So I was every time
I
that we
get.
were messaging, and you were like, I'm looking for positions and jobs, and it's tough, and I was like,
Yeah,
it will happen, Zara. So
I actually got two offers. I didn't mention that it was two offers. One, it was Hala, a company based in United Arab Emirates. But I like the stacks and everything I was looking for. I was looking for a company where I grow and learn. I don't want to be doing the design
Mhm.
part and then I will miss out the fun part and the growing process. So that
Yeah.
was how I had to go for the other part. But honestly, I'm so happy. I'm grateful. That.
Thank you very much, both of you, for being here today. So I have a whole lot of questions to ask you from the audience. So I put up a video. Okay, I started up with the flyer, and I said I'm going to bring the both of you here. And you have questions about tech you want to ask, that you are free to drop your questions, and then I can ask them, because I call you the design lord and the design queen. Oh goodness! So I'm so happy
Will really? Well, like like
to.
wow, wait, like you mean that I have a title someone don't know, man?
Okay,
well,
so
well,
that's my
well, that's a
design.
cool
That's my
name.
name
Yeah, that's a
today.
cool
Yeah,
name.
sure.
Okay.
So I'm so happy to
Appreciate it.
have the both of you here. Anyway, I would have met you during the Oscar Fest, but I had an
mm,
exam. I was writing there, my final exams, first semester final exam, so I couldn't meet up with the program, and I missed seeing you there. So let's start off. So we've all done the introduction. We've gotten to know about the both of you, and yeah. So I would like to know. I've heard you talk about you've been doing design over 10 years and you know a whole lot about design. So, what will you actually say design is?
mm. Yeah, I love this question. I love it when I get to
Yeah,
think about this question as well.
very
It's
broad.
yeah, very broad. I I see the role of a designer within any organization, small, large, however, whatever the organization produces, like whether it's technology or whether it's, publications, magazines, whatever
Yeah.
the designer is doing, the designer's key role is about communication and facilitation, and about the process of taking a problem or a need and exploring that need. And that need could be something like creating a brand identity, like organization is not recognizable within the sector that we want to be the best in. And the need there is about creating a strong brand. Or the need could be that users don't, or people don't have a way to do something with their technology, with their phones or something like that. So you're taking a problem and you're figuring out creative solutions to solve that problem for those people. But the real hard thing about design, but also the joyful, amazing thing about design is the part where you are communicating and collaborating and facilitating the conversations around that problem within the organization, because that's really the key to success, is how well your colleagues, your collaborators understand how design works. It will be so much better received and so much more co-owned by everyone that it really becomes about collaboration, facilitation, and communication for me as a designer. If you can't, I've met a lot of great designers that are very, very talented skills, but they really struggle to communicate the why, the how, the problem, the way to gather the team around the problem and really solve it in a collaborative way. And usually those designers that struggle with that aspect have a much harder time in the industry. So I really do, whenever I'm asked that question, I like to say that the skills are important and the skills are great, but the communication, collaboration, and facilitation is as important, if not more important.
Thank you very much for that well-explained answer. Zara, what do you have to say, or what do you have to add to what Eriol said?
Well, yeah, for design, the question is quite broad because there are so many aspects in design. Like you have industrial design, you have interior design,
Yeah,
you have the
exactly.
digital design. Like it's very broad. Well, yeah, to state it in a way that is very simple, design is an act of or conceiving an idea, you know, or something not fully formed in order to solve a problem. So you are creating a design because you need something that will assist you to solve that problem. So that's how I
Yeah,
define it, and design is everything, and nothing works well without any good design. Uh,
yeah.
for example, I was fortunate enough to receive a scholarship 2 years ago by Abia State government to learn a computer-aided design, like how to design products. And from my experience way back, before we can be able to design any 3D element, we have to sketch it, you know, before we head over to our Autodesk Inventor to do some stuff. So everything starts from a part where you just conceive those ideas into something that is not fully formed to achieve a particular. So you design those stuff, to make life easier. Probably humans, probably our animals, or or community or anybody. So that's how I see design. Design is problem solving. Design is life.
Exactly. Yes, that's the truth. So design is actually above the flyers that we see. It's actually a way to make persons get a certain feeling. Because I know
Yeah.
during my secondary school, so you were told that try to be in the person's shoe. The person is going to see your design. What would you want to pass? What do you want the person to get? You want the person to get the warmth feeling. You want the person to get angry. You want the person to be happy. You have to also consider all those things when you're making your design. So yeah. So thank you very much for
Exactly.
your broad answers. Yeah. So that's it. So I have a second question here. But before I go back to the second question. I want to know, Zara, are you more of a product designer, UI, UX? Okay, fine. Okay. I think this question should come later on, because when I start talking about UI, UX, and product design, people will confuse. So I think this person says, what?
Whoa, like power
Um,
outage.
yeah, sorry. Are we using the same light, Zara? Because the same thing is not using my light.
It's crazy. I messed up. I would have used like a temporary power supply, like my inverter, but I trusted the government. But like anyway,
Oh,
let's go on.
so it's okay. It's okay. So
Yeah, no worries.
I
I'm
want
with
to
you.
know. So how do you start a career as a UI UX person? I want not you, Zara, please. Your question is coming
Okay.
up, though. So how do you start? Yeah, how do you start your career as a UI UX person? Because I heard you earlier said you've worked with a lot of good designers. You've seen experienced designer. So how do you start a career, or what do you say UI UX is first before you actually go to the aspect of starting a career as a UI UX person?
So I call myself a design generalist. So which means I do and have done like a little bit of everything kind of on the design spectrum in my sort of 11 years. And I think one of the key things to know about UI and UX is often the two are in job adverts put next to each other. So a lot of organizations ask for a UI and UX person, but they're very different kinds of processes and very different kinds of roles. So user interface is UI and UX is user experience. They're connected because the thing about user interfaces is that they have an experience to them, right? So the idea of UX and experience, I'll carry on and wait for Shula to come back. The idea about UX is that it's not just necessarily about what you see. So UX can be about designing not just the interface elements, but maybe everything to do with the experience. And it's kind of a little bit closer to something that's called maybe service design, which is how we design an entire service. So let's maybe just use a quick example to talk about user experience design in terms of like service design. So imagine you are purchasing a laptop or purchasing a mobile phone. And part of the user experience of that service might be looking at a website for phones, but part of that service or user experience might be also going into a store or looking through a paper magazine. And that is a whole user experience. So, it's not just on one screen or one device, whereas user interface is an interface, right? So it's either something on a computer screen or a phone screen or maybe like a different device. So they're quite different roles, but the question was about how to get into them. And I say this to a lot of people that are curious about becoming some kind of designer, whether it's UI, UX, service design, graphic design. Is one of the biggest things that you need to have is a curiosity about people and how people use things, like how a human uses a mobile phone, how a human uses a computer. It's not necessarily about how well you can use software, right? So it's not necessarily about using Adobe products really, really well, or using Figma, or knowing like all of your color theory for like, design and things like that. I think a sense of curiosity about solving problems, like exactly what Zara said about you to be a good designer and to be successful as a designer and how to start out is to have that curiosity about why things work well and how they work well. So is the reason that they work well because they're really enticing? So let's maybe take McDonald's as an example. So McDonald's, just the restaurants, are really used to be really brightly colored, and red is supposed to be a color that makes us feel hungry, and they're kind of very welcoming and friendly, and they've got all the food on display on pictures. And if you're a designer, whenever you're in the world experiencing things, you should be really thinking, okay, why do I feel hungry when I come in here? And why do I really like that piece of, user interface or user experience as opposed to this? So I think the first thing that you need is a curiosity and that kind of approach to the real world that is about trying to understand it in terms of why it's been constructed in that way. I think the other things can come through exploration. So as you come up with a problem that you might want to solve, I think most people that want to be designers know they already have a problem they really want to solve. Most of the designers that come up to me and say, I want to be a designer, and I'm like, what problems do you want to solve? And they'll say to me, oh, well, something like, actually, I remember having a conversation with a young woman about how she really wanted to empower other women to have access to different kinds of educational programs where she was from. And I was like, oh, that's a problem that you want to design a solution for. And she was like, yeah, actually, yeah, it's a problem I want to design a solution for. So I was like, okay, we'll start from there. Like, what are the things that you find interesting about that culture, or the kind of community, or what do those young women, what are the challenges that those young women have? Start writing those down, and then you can start, doing things like sketching and doing things like looking at other examples. So the other skills come with time, but the real key is that curiosity, thinking about why things are the way that they are, and then really finding that problem that you want to solve and start to build those design skills around it. You'll have a much more enjoyable time if you go that process, as opposed to saying, I need to learn Figma or something like that.
Yeah, so thank you very much.
Well, nice,
yeah,
nice.
Sure. You have something to say?
In addition to what they said, okay, you see this design of a thing, before you get started, like I believe every skill sets have their own place where you can actually not break that even. You just get strained that you don't want to do it anymore. For example, just imagine I was having this talk, and my power went off. So if I can't afford like the power supply like 24 hours, I will be struggling with so many things, like like I was struggling with poverty, I was struggling with depression, I was struggling with power issues, I was struggling with internet supply and stuff like that. So able to rise above all those things makes you exceptional, So first of all, your curiosity. Why do you want to venture into this? Why do you want to become a product designer? Why do you want to become a brand designer? Do you want to focus on designing like visual experiences for brands, or do you want to focus on designing products for softwares? So stuff like that should be your like motivation. So yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Okay. Yeah. Come on.
I just want to say to that is a lot of people might be what's the word, like I think I want to say that your reason for wanting to solve problems could be that I want to solve problems really well as a designer for companies so that I can be paid really well, and that is absolutely, yes, that is a perfect reason why you want to be a designer. If you want to be a designer because it's a great way to
money. Who doesn't love money?
Absolutely. Like you don't have to have like a really like a problem that you find really personal. It's
true.
Knowing that you are a problem solver and you want to be able to apply that skill to a company is totally a great way to approach the subject of design and learning about design.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I've always heard you say, Zara, I've always heard you say product design, this one design. So I don't know.
Really?
For persons that don't really know what product design is all about, can you help us out? Can you break down that word? So what does it mean for someone to be a product designer?
I don't know where you saw me talking about product design.
No, I mean, like, honestly, on the show, when you explained yourself, you talked about product design. So we want to know.
I talked about brand design. Like
brand design.
Like product design is existing. Honestly, I'm not a fan of product design. Though the company I'll be working with, I'll help them to design some stuff that will help to improve on their products, but I'm not a fan. I design interfaces, but I don't put it out there. I just want to do what I love. I want people that if I put myself out there but I have like a bunch of skills that I learned during like my career path. If I put out there that I do user research, I put out there that I do brand design, I put out there that I do experience design, stuff like that. It's going to get people like confused. So I just want to like have a niche for myself.
Have a niche, exactly, and just focus on that. Yeah,
yeah,
that's okay.
I chose brand design because brand design is
Okay,
like
brand
is a place
design.
where I do a lot. You know, I create
Yeah.
and I don't get tired. I don't know if you saw a side project I worked on, project Meet Your Mic. It took like
Yes. So,
more than 4 months. I am a friend of mine. We jumped on it from the
yeah.
UK. We collaborated and we did some stuff. And honestly, that project got me like the job offers and projects I'm actually working with a startup in Silicon Valley, like a contract.
Exactly.
So just imagine if I did that
Put up
because I
all
just
the
wanted to
whole
create
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when it comes to brand design, it's something that I do selflessly. It's something that I love doing. I just
So
want to
what is
create more
brand design all
adventure.
about? What is all about? Can you just help us? Brand design, brand design. For persons that don't really know what brand design is, can you help us tell, like,
Yeah.
explain what brand design is all about?
Okay. Brand design involves creating uh, or I say that, let me not say create, I want to say solve. Brand design involves like solving problems for
Yeah.
brands that actually helps to improve their products. One, the marketing and the products development. Sometimes I think brand works without brand design. There's no way the product can be shipped
Product
or can
can
even
be
get
shipped, yeah.
started because the brand designer creates like a
Sorry.
brand system. Sorry, Eriol Fox.
Sorry.
The brand designer creates a brand system that can be used to proceed further. So as a brand designer, if I don't create the logo, if I don't decide how the color of the logo will be, like if I decide that I want the color of the logo to be violet or yellow, I bet you everything across the product is going to be yellow and you're not going
Yellow,
to do anything
exactly.
about it. If I decide I want the
Yeah.
typography to be probably tweaked poppins or roboto, man, everything across that product is going to be roboto or poppins. So you are
Yes.
in charge, but most brand designers don't know that until you get to know
Yeah.
who you are, you know. So
Exactly.
that's why I respect what I do and I love it a lot. So
Yeah, that's
about
that.
brand
That's
design,
that.
yeah, about brand design, it involves you like you taking up solving problems for brands across their products, the
Yeah.
marketing, and and also I think the products too, in order to improve their design experiences across all brand touch points.
Brand
So those
person.
touch points can be social media, it can be like
Yeah.
a newsletter part, it can be the website, it can be like the brand elements, their custom iconography, the brand voice, stuff that actually help to put the brand out there. If you check the project Mute Your Mic, I created a brand voice for Clubhouse and
Yeah,
I
I
did
saw
some
that.
stuff.
I saw that. That was
Yeah,
amazing.
so
I think I retweeted that tweet. It was
yeah,
amazing. Yeah.
I directed the creative process. So you're asking me why I don't put out the product design. Yeah, I do creative directions too, but I can't put creative direction till I retire. Stuff like that. So
Yeah.
a brand design is something that is very, very broad. It's not. It sounds simple, and people always mistake brand design to be graphic design. That's the problem I have. People think brand design is all about creating
I was
logos, like
coming to
when you
that.
put
I was coming to that. I'm
yeah,
actually
brand
coming to
design is like
that. So yes, I'm just going to pause you for that. We're going to talk about that later because I think that's one of the
okay,
questions
okay,
that I have
sure.
here. Yeah, so I'm going to pause it now. So
No, this is brand design. If you leave me, I'm gonna
yeah.
talk to you tomorrow. So yeah.
Okay, yeah. If you love what you do, if you really what you love what you do, whenever you have the opportunity to talk about it, you think the whole time to try to talk about it and try to convince persons that you're actually doing an amazing thing. So I heard you talk about Aerofox, I heard you talk about UI UX, and so I have a question, direct question here from you, from someone. She said, okay, I hear people say that I'm a UI UX designer. Please, I want to know, is it possible for one person to be both a UI and a UX designer at the same time?
Yes, it is, absolutely. I say that I'm a generalist designer, and the things that I do most in my day-to-day job is I do a little bit more on the UX research side of things. So talking to
Okay.
users, doing interviews, doing pieces of research to help understand the problems that we're trying to solve. So I do lots of UX research, and then I do the UI and UX of so then I do lots of wireframing, and then I do lots of product design, feature design for software, and then I also do, because I work in quite small organizations that are often
Okay.
under resourced,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
I do the part where I kind of take it through to the development team and do a process which I call design QA, which is quality assurance. Like there's lots of people that do QA for a development side of things, but it's possible to do design QA as well, which is interesting. But so it is possible to be a UI and UX designer, but essentially what I would say is that somebody is trying to pay you one salary for two jobs. So basically just be like, why aren't you paying me double my salary because I'm doing two jobs?
Exactly.
No. But yeah, it's too so I think that you can be both. But I think sometimes what I've found really difficult in my career is when I've gone from, say, thinking about the UX of something to thinking about the UI of something, what I would have really loved from many projects is another person to talk about that with. And I think sometimes design is something that until recently, companies really want to keep very lean, or, you know, if they can hire one designer, they will only hire one designer and make them do everything. Whereas then it can get just really hard to have feedback, like from people that know about design, and it can be really hard to think of like just creative ideas. So in a lot of projects, when I've been working on the UI and the UX, I've gone outside of my organization, my company, to ask other designers, I just need a bit of feedback. So, but you can specialize, and it really does depend on the company, or the organization. So some organizations that are well resourced will hire people just for UX and just for the UI. But I would just you can do it, but just make sure that you're being very, very kind to yourself, that you're not trying to rush each process, because what you are doing is two very distinct processes, two linked but very distinct processes, and make sure that you're getting paid well for it.
Well, for the both of them, yeah. So for me, I think UX does with a lot of documentation, a lot of stress than the UI. I think UI is a kind of simpler, easier to do as a career than the UX. Because if you're not really patient, you're not okay, you can't really do the UX. For me, that's my part. So what do you want to say, Sorry?
Yeah, I think UI can be, depending on the organization, I think UI can be a little bit more straightforward. Yeah, so simpler in the I need to take this brand or this visual identity that a brand designer has created, and I need to make sure that that is well represented across all the different UI. So it's like a lot of UI designers often are like the part of the process which is just before development. So it's like almost like how do I want to say this? Like they kind of get the pieces of the puzzle, and they're the ones that kind of place the pieces of the puzzle together, ready for like coding, essentially. So it's a great role to do, and it's always good to know how to do it if you're going to go into UX and not UI. But yeah, it's more about the execution, I would say, of the.
Thank you very much. So Zara, this is for you. So someone said, in graphic design, is it a okay? Fine. Zara, are you here? Hello, Zara. I think you just left. Okay, so while we wait for Zara to call back, I would have to continue with you, Eriol, first. So for the UI UX that we've been talking, okay, yeah, he's back. Hi, can you hear me? Hi, Zara.
I'm here.
Hi. Okay. So I had this question is for you. It said graphic design, is it a whole skill? Okay, let me read it how she stated, then we can try to make a meaning out of it. In graphic design, is it a whole role, or are there other branches inside it? So graphic design, is it a whole job or a whole career, or are there other designs or other branches inside that? I don't really know if you understand what she's saying or
Okay. Well, I've on my quest my quest to look for like the job opportunities, I've come across like graphic design roles. I wouldn't lie. If you go to LinkedIn, like you see a bunch of them. So well, graphic design, like graphic design involves like a lot. I won't lie. It entails uh, I think graphic design is kind of similar to when you're working on stuff that has to do with the brand design, the layout design, the editorial design, the web and the packaging. So graphic design is you know, if when you download fonts, you have family, you have the normal, we have the regular, you have the ones that kind of in italics and stuff. So
Yeah.
graphics involves so many things in design. Like can be the brand identity part, it can be the packaging design, it can be the editorial, it can be the web design. You know, but at end of the day, what the intent is to create visuals in order to communicate messages yeah properly. And there are so many careers there are careers, so many careers in graphic design. You know, when
Okay.
starting up, I didn't understand that graphic design was beyond designing posters and flyers and
And
prints.
logo,
Yeah, prints and some stuff over here.
banners, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I never knew that. Yeah, yeah. So at some point, I got to understand by reading books, by watching YouTube, listening to talks, and everything. And graphic design is very broad. Honestly, if you offer me a graphic design role and a brand design role, I'll go for a brand design role because I know what it takes to become a graphic designer. But people would think that okay, when if you're a graphic designer, you just do stuff that are just random, like posters and some stuff, then do cards, and then you're good to go. Honestly, the responsibility that comes with graphic design, I don't know if you have got to see some rules that responsibility are like, uh, you must know how to use do animations. You must know how to use Adobe's,
Yeah.
After Effects. So as a graphic designer, honestly, you should know how to animate. No jokes.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if I'm right, Ariel Fox.
Yeah, I think graphic design is a really interesting word and a term because it's actually, I would say, Zara's right, it's changed over the years. Like, so graphic design is probably one of the oldest professional titles that we have
Yeah.
in
Title,
design.
yes, yes.
Yeah, so it's very, very kind of dates back to sort of like the sort of, you know, 40s and 50s of advertising. So that it like, and brand. So brand design, advertising, and graphics design was something that is like quite an old-fashioned term. Whereas, you know,
Yeah.
the world that we live in is very different now. But graphic design is, I would say, become about things like how to it's another title which is maybe more modern and up to date is graphic communication. So graphic design is about what within the visuals are you communicating and how effectively are you communicating that. So whatever we look at graphic design within, it's like, okay, well, how are the graphics conveying a message, essentially? So how are you communicating that? And I think from my personal perspective, graphic design is one of the closer professions to artistic expression. So there's lots of very creative pieces of graphic design work. There's lots of very political and very confrontational pieces of design work are within the graphic design domain. There are lots of, you can sort of think of them as posters, but you can also think of them as like zines and things like, leaflets, or even things like graffiti art to some extent becomes partly graphic design and communication of a message. So yeah, graphic design is like an interesting, it's worth looking at the history of it and how it's changed. But yeah, there is like a modernization of it, which is about the motion graphics designer. So again, it's about communicating a message through graphics in motion. So that's just, I think, now that we've got access to technology, which is all about, motion, like we can watch videos on our phones and computers and TVs. And it's about how you animate and how you move graphics. But yeah, there's loads of different kinds of graphic design. Like there's one type of graphic designer that I used to love that do lots of sculpture work, like out of paper, and it's called like graphic design, like papercraft, and they'll take like photos of these constructed things, and it'll become like part of the advertising campaign, the graphic design of that. So it's very, very much like, I would say, part of the creative part of design, rather than necessarily the problem. It still solves a problem, but it's it's like more into the artistic expression side of things, I think.
Thank you very much for that well-detailed explanation. So I'm very sure that he or she has gotten the answer to the full. Like you actually cleared up the question. Yeah. So for you, Eriol, sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Do you want to say anything?
The graphic design, like the graphic design, like I mentioned, is like a family. Like it is broad, very, very broad. And in graphic design, when I think way back, the graphic design title was misused. That's why people now don't want to, even graphic designers don't want to take the graphic designer title.
Seriously, thank you for saying that. Like, damn.
Yeah. So graphic design involves like a bunch, like like the visual identity part, like the marketing and advertising,
A whole lot.
like the packaging, the motion, the illustration, the custom design stuff, all those graffiti and mosaic, the packaging. Sorry, I said that the editorial and the publishing design. So it's very, very broad. So that's why most times, when I get offers like, hey, are you free for a graphic designer? Do I ask them, can I see the responsibility? Well, you might not know what it entails, but I understand. But the company might feel that, okay, I want someone on our team that will just do like a bunch of marketing stuffs and social media stuff, and then the target to be graphic designer. That's because they don't understand the role.
Yeah.
Please, to whom it might concern, to whom that is listening, please, I am begging you. Graphic design is more than logos, flyers, and what's it called? Banners. Please, wedding card invitations. Graphic design is. You know what I'm shouting. Okay, so like I said, I meant apart from being a founder and a CEO of FemCode Africa, where we teach lots of females about tech or coding skills, I also do mentorship, right? So I make it very comfortable for persons or women in Africa to reach out to me comfortably and ask me questions, tech questions, and I'll give out advice. So this particular lady came to me and was like, she wants to start up a career in tech. So I asked her, what do you like doing? See, and for her, she likes designing stuff, like she likes, I asked her, what kind of design do you like? Say she's good at, she likes people wearing their clothes well. She likes persons that matches the color properly. She likes people that do their makeup well. She likes being nice and dressing well. I was asking her to tell me what she does or what she enjoys doing, so that I can know where I can come in and give her an advice from. So after she talked a whole lot about herself, what she likes, and it was all centered around colors and design. I said that, why don't you go for graphic design? I think you actually do better in the field. Or more, she shouted, no, graphic design, no. Why do you tell me to go for graphic design? I was like, calm down, there are a whole lot of things you can do. Say no, so I'll come and sit down and be designing logos and flyers and banners. No. So please, to whom this or to anybody saying this, graphic design is more than logos, flyers, and banners. There are so many things you can do with graphic design. Just like Zara said, there is motion, there is marketing, and there's so many things you can do with graphic design. That comes to another question. Someone asked, he said, I'm an artist, I draw, but I want to start a career in tech. What advice can you offer? So yeah, so if
Whoa.
let's start from you first. So what do you think? He said he's an artist, he draws, he can
Yeah.
draw well. Yeah, because he said I'm an artist, I can draw very well. Please, I
Mm.
want to know. Okay, I want to start a career in tech. Please, what
Mm.
career should I start up with? I want to know. Advice, please. So want to know.
Okay. If they enjoy drawing, I think
Yeah.
one of the other questions that I would ask them is kind of what kinds of things do they draw? Do they draw realistic, like people? Do they draw like buildings? Do they draw very like technically?
Okay.
Because if you draw very technically, and when I say technically, I mean like kind of almost getting into architectural, like
Okay.
structural drawings.
Yeah,
Like there is,
buildings and stuff like that.
yeah. And there's like for architecture, you might not think tech, right? But the developments in architecture are purely about tech now. It's about working in like programs like three-dimensional programs, but knowing how to use those programs well, you need a foundation in drawing and sketching and technical drawing and measurements and things like that. And then you've also got so product design has kind of, there are two different kinds of product design, right? So there's the one that Zara talked about earlier on. So there's like
Yeah.
software product design, like interfaces and kind of like digital product design. And then
Yeah.
there's physical product design. And again, if
Hardware.
you're hardware. Yeah. So if you're very good at technical drawing, and you like maybe, so an example is if I've seen people draw like beautiful drawings of like cars or motorbikes or machinery, I start thinking about, you'd be a great like hardware product designer because you can draw technical structures really, really well. And that is actually a sector that is much in need of like staff, like people to go into those roles. So architecture and sort of hardware product design on that side. But if you like, you know, drawing characters like people, humans, like animals, things like that. Again, I want to say visual design and graphic design is very, very good, or illustration, also brand and identity design, or you could be like an illustrator. Like most technology products out there use some form of illustration, whether it's icons are kind of a form of graphic design and illustration, depending on how you approach the problem. But also a lot of brand and visual identities use a lot of illustration work. Magazines and articles and everything that needs visual stuff to supplement it, right? So there's like a lot that you can do becoming like a digital illustrator essentially.
Yeah.
Including going into maybe the video games industry. So shout out to our friend Dominion, doing doing amazing work in the big claps for Dominion doing work in the games industry in Nigeria. We love him. But yeah, you could consider becoming like a character artist for video games, or and that's so cool. Such a cool like such a cool place to go into. In fact, speaking about women specifically going into this role, there's an organization, a games organization that has a few bases around the world called GRAM Games, and that's GRAM Games. And they have an amazing program where they really support and mentor women going into the games industry. So I really highly recommend them. I went to one of their conferences for women in games, and it was so, so cool. So yeah, there's a few different options. It's about visual design, graphic design, maybe video games and things like that, and then also maybe technical product design. But I'd love to hear from Zara as well. I think you'll have some good ideas.
Yeah, that's for you.
Well, honestly, you made mention of artists, and I have a thing for them. So if I actually start up a company, and when I'm retired, I would love to hire that guy.
Oh, I forgot one.
Yeah,
option.
sure.
Fashion design as well.
Fashion design.
Yeah, so like you know, trainers need to get designed, right? Nike needs people to draw trainer designs, and you know, all yeah, anyway, Zara, sorry.
Okay, Zara, continue, please.
well, you see, like then, you know, then my my younger brother started as an artist. He loved drawing some characters. Then you make a book about them, and because of the stigmatization of how everything then was like focused on go to school. When you done with school, you get a 9 to 5, you make money, you get married, you have that happy home, and then like rinse and repeat
Happy
stuff like
endings,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, but I bet if he had like developed the skill further, he would have become an expert. Yeah, I have friends. I have a couple of friends on Twitter and LinkedIn that are working for Netflix and BBC. So, and what you ask me what they do, they draw.
Mhm.
Wow.
It's crazy. All they just do
Wow.
is just draw. They just do some
Wow.
rough stuff, storyboarding and stuff like that. Just imagine
Mm.
when you're earning like 150K, 150 to like 180K a year just because you just know how to draw. So you see companies
That's
like
huge.
yeah, like companies like all these companies like Google, Facebook, Netflix, and likes. And there's one thing that I like about them is that they value specialty. So if you're good at one thing, they will hire you, because that when they have bunch of generalists working on something, the results will not be the same when they have everyone specialized in something. So
Mm.
if the design, just imagine, you have a design team and you have a product brand and a marketing designer. Then you have someone that does the development and the software, the DevOps and everything.
Yeah.
Then the results, they were making good results, good yield, and getting the everything they want. But when they have a marketing design or a product, sorry, like a marketing team or a design team that consists of a character designers, artists,
Mm.
storyboard artists, motion designers,
Yeah.
voiceovers. Like everyone, honestly, when those guys ship products, it's gonna be mad. It won't be the same.
Mm.
I've testified like this. The project Muti on Mike I worked on. I and Spencer Zil like came out as people that worked on it, but behind everything, we had like a bunch of people. We had people that did the voiceover. We had people that do the content. We had people that did some little bit of art direction. We had like a bunch of people. Like so many hands came on it, but we paid them for the side project. So you get to do a lot of work when you have people come on
Yeah,
board. So
exactly.
for the artist, the guy the guy, she's a guy or a guy,
Yeah,
right?
a guy. Yeah, a
Yeah.
guy.
So
Guy, guy, guy.
I'll advise him to just build more, invest a lot. He doesn't have to go with the trend. No, people now want to like move to product design or move to like brand design or move to
Yeah.
I know it's good, but if you can invest a lot in that place, honestly, he's gonna make a fortune out of it. All you just need is
Mhm.
consistency, doing the work right, trying to like elevate, know how to do things better in
Yeah.
illustrations or creating icons or doing the fashion design or doing some sketching for some hardware 3D products. That that's some, honestly, if I tell you how much like SpaceX or Tesla hire random guys that do sketch, like just
Mm.
low fidelity sketch for them for those
Yeah.
rockets or for those electric battery or those, they pay them like a lot. Like honestly, it might be like the 50K a day. At the end of the day,
Mm.
it can be going home like, honestly, those, see, everything all depends on how well you master your craft. Like
Exactly.
not everything all depends on how well you master your craft. Someone might be receiving like 100K to work on a project, like a branding project for a company, and someone somewhere might receive like 5 million USD for working on the same project. So everything all depends on value and how authentic you are. So I urge your friend to keep on doing whatever he's doing. He become the best in the field. Learn, they get mentors. If he doesn't like mentors like me, I learn from afar. So she just keep on learning from people from afar and try to be the best. Honestly, he's gonna make a fortune out of it. Who knows? Google, Facebook get to hire them, because the future of design, honestly, if future of design is like playful designs or no design
Mm.
at all, like they are
They're
building
not
some,
too serious.
yeah,
Yeah,
artificial
exactly.
intelligence and some infrastructure that will just cook up designs without us doing the work. But I don't think that will throw us out of business. I'll still be hired. So the guy right now, websites, like interactive websites are done. I don't know if this guy, if I can get hold of his website. His website is very, very sweet. there is no, like, he didn't use those normal typography that, like this the century gothic, the Fortura. He used like custom made typography, like he did everything himself. I can That is so amazing. He's working for BBC, you know. What he does is just to create illustrations for them. If it's Afro centered, if it's tech center, all you just do is create like illustrations for them, stuff that he does with his free time. So just imagine that kind of thing. So, and this guy, I'm telling you, he's very, very good. He's very good.
Yeah.
So yeah, so everything all falls hand in hand with how you look at yourself and how you position your skill, how you position yourself. So you should just keep on learning, learn how to do stuff and get better in his field. I believe he's gonna stand that. I can't wait to
Yeah, so thank you very, very much.
work with
I
him.
have a
Yeah.
question in the comment section. It says there are multiple tools out there for UI UX. Yes, of course, it's advisable to use a tool that works for you, but as experienced designers that you are, both of you,
Okay.
what tool are best for UI UX? Oh yeah, Adobe and
Gosh, I think you
Okay.
should get sponsorship money for mentioning products. But anyway, if we're going to
Exactly.
mention particular products, they should pay. But for UX and UI for when I work on the computer. So my first answer is paper and pencil. So I think one of the things that Zara has just been speaking about is everything starts out as a sketch. Everything starts out as a drawing. Absolutely everything that's designed. So paper and pencil and drawing is still like my main tool that I use. See, exactly. I mean, I can't find drawings that I've got next to me right now. But I could if I went through some files. But so paper and pencil. But the thing that one of the softwares that I use the most is Figma, mostly because of the collaboration tools.
Collaboration, exactly.
But the only reason that I switched from Adobe XD to Figma is because of I changed companies. So I think Adobe XD has very good collaboration tools and is a very, very good tool for doing UI and UX work. But it's really about what the company wants you to use. But I think both are equally good. I think Figma maybe has a few more like sharing, a few more features that are a little,
especially when you're designing for web. You're designing for web or for mobile. Figma, I don't know. For me, Figma is better because I'm actually a front end precise. I'm a full stack, but I prefer being called a front end web development because I love designs too. Sorry. So I design the front end aspect of the web. So for me, I think if I really want to work on a UI design, I prefer when it's been done with Figma. For me, it's better. It makes me less confused. I can just go copy codes, copy stuff, and
I think Figma will take the lead. Honestly, I think they will, but I actually find it harder to do prototyping in Figma than I do in Adobe XD. I actually found the prototyping part a lot easier. And I think Adobe XD has still some really nice features for doing like voice command prototypes. I don't know whether Figma has that yet, but anyway, Figma is still the thing that I use right now. So
thank you very much. So what you have to say, Zara?
Well, you all know that there's one thing I love about Figma. I'm trying to this should be sponsored, like Eriol Fox said. Like Figma is like innovative. They're always trying to know what works best for people. What is the collaboration between developers and designers? But I think they're trying to build a tool that will make developers design without having stress, because every day they release updates. They're actually making designs easy with those plugins. Honestly, when I see some stuff on Figma, I'm like, am I a joke? Because it can actually take me like 30 minutes to create that effect, but with the Figma plugins, a second or two, you're done. So that's like the future of design, and that's something I appreciate. It's something that if it saves time, wow, it increases productivity. Yeah, Figma is a great tool, but I'm very flexible when it comes to using tools. Like I started with like Illustrator, CorelDRAW, yeah, and Photoshop. So I'm very flexible. So I can, if I want to do some photo manipulations, jump to Figma. I jump to Adobe Photoshop. If I want to do some hardcore like book design, like jump on my like my InDesign. If I want to do some stuff, I'm very flexible when it comes to using tools. But when it entails collaborating with the developers, I use like Figma, like near protocol. There is this blockchain company startup like near protocol. I did some marketing and some podcast design for them. Honestly, I wanted to send it across like with as PNG, SVG, but I got a feedback from the developer that they want me to they make it accessible. They want to they want to make edits at some point. They have to design everything on Figma and send them the file. So everything like the stuff like that are very, very good for collaboration. So yeah, Figma and all
So,
the softwares. I'm giving
so
them thumbs up.
yeah,
Yeah.
Chemela Uzoma, you've heard the answer to your question. So I don't know if there are other questions you think I just ask. You have 2 minutes to round off. So when it comes to talk about how to learn, what they are, both product design, UI, UX, and so on and so forth. We've talked about a whole lot of them. Now we just talk about money because I love money.
No, honestly, you're
I
right.
love
That's something
money.
that most people don't always
So
like to talk
yes.
about.
So
You know, I don't know.
how do
Well,
you earn? How much do you think a UI UX person earn if I'm good? Like, Eriol, first let's start from you. How much do they earn? It's actually a question from one of the audience there. Says,
I can,
how much do a UI UX designer slash graphic designer slash product designer earn?
I can tell you what I've been offered recently for different job roles here. So I recently got offered a senior position, a design agency doing, thank you, doing digital product design and some UI like UX. So a little bit of a generalist, but it's a growing organization here in the UK. And the starting offer for that was 60k British pounds. I don't know what that is in USD. I think it's probably close to like maybe 85, 90. I can't do my conversion very well.
right.
But I think the US tends to pay a lot more because the like salaries. The difference being that the UK salaries are a bit lower because we don't have to pay health insurance because we've got national health insurance.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
If you're hearing that that's quite a low salary, you're thinking, oh, that's not very much. It's because we don't get salary to pay
All the stuff,
private
yeah.
health insurance. Yeah, so we get a slightly like lower salary, I suppose. But what designers are worth, I think that you should always be asking for at least two times your like living costs, right? At least. So I really hate hearing designers saying that they're going to work for free or they're going to do this for free. I think you should always, if you're going, it's the thing that I hate the most, even within open source. I think it's really, I don't think that designers, you really need to make a clear choice about what you are going to get from that. If you ever do anything for free, even if it's for friends, for family or whatever, you need to understand what benefits is that piece of work going to give me for my portfolio. Can I use this in interviews? If it's not going to do anything for you, say no to it. You shouldn't waste your time on it.
Exactly. I'm telling you, know what it.
Yeah, I've had a lot of students say to me things like, I don't feel like I can charge for my work. I'm not good enough. I've only got 1 years of experience. I've got no years of experience. And it's like, no, you're still very skilled. So you should be earning a skilled wage and you ask for what you want. If they say, I won't pay you that, then you don't want to work with that person. So that when somebody tries to say that they don't want to pay you what you're worth, that means that you don't want to work with that person, right? So yeah.
Because the person that actually value what you're bringing to the table. For me, that's how I look at it. So if you can't pay me what like pay me well for what I'm doing, I just
absolutely.
I don't. So when I hear people say that they actually build websites for free, I'll be like, wow. 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 Yeah, sometimes we actually do charity stuff, but for me, I only do charity stuff when I know it's going to help me out. So I'm giving you this for free, right? So what am I getting in return? Are you going to tell persons that I did this and get more persons for me because I'm a freelancer, right? And I have bills to pay. So thank you very much. You don't actually pay my bills. You know that, right? So what is it actually giving me back in return for giving you this for free? So apart from that, no, no, it's not. So what do you think, Zara? She said what she thinks. So what do you think? How much do you think designers, UI products, and graphic designers should earn? Because this person I think is a newbie.
Okay. I will start with you mentioned about the free stuff, like the stuff that has to do with volunteering and contribution. So
Yeah.
I believe everything is transactional. Everything transactional. Whether you're contributing to open source, whether you're volunteering for free, it's either you're getting like the recognition, or you are improving your skill sets, or you're networking, or stuff like that. So honestly, I'm a fan of doing stuff for free, but it's not for free. I'm a fan of helping people. Like I'm always happy when I see my design solve problem. So what drives me most of the time is solving problems and money. But if you heard me very well, I mentioned solving problems and money. That means the money is very important. I didn't exclude that. I added it. But solving problem came first, and the money part came second. So I always have this joy. Like my part, I was able to, I want to start like to give like reasons why I started design and stuff like that, but it just jumped off. But the reason why I started design was I told Eriol Fox this was like design makes me feel whole. It makes me feel like I belong to a place, and it's very it's a place I give all and I get back. So if it's paid or not, I'm getting back. I'm feeling whole. I'm feeling accomplished. So if I'm getting paid, that means I'm getting paid to have fun, stuff like that. So so yeah, for the volunteering stuff and doing stuff that you're not giving some you're not getting any monetary gain, all I'll just say, if you feel like you want to do it, go do it. If you feel that it's not worth your time, you don't want to do it, don't do it. I always contribute to open source. I don't care if there's any stipend or stipends attached. I just want to do. I want stuff I'm creating to be used. I want what I created to be used across all touch points. That's like the joy, So, and honestly, that's transactional. No matter how you actually think of it. And way back, I've been designing for tech days. I volunteered a lot, like a lot of placards see here and some stuff. I had some t-shirts and some swags. I had was volunteering, like social impact, design. I volunteered for TEDx in my local here. I volunteered for TEDx Port Harcourt, TEDx Uniport. I volunteered for Hot Prize United Nations. I've volunteered for so many organizations, like over here, and I bet you I learned a lot. I learned a lot. I didn't know that the most of this TEDx events, they sponsor the designers. They sponsor everything has to do with the brand design and the marketing design. I never knew. I thought it was like a volunteering stuff. It was being sponsored by the government until I got commissioned to work to brand like TEDx Asokoro in Abuja, and we're like, wow, really? Like this guy was like, hey Zara, I want to pay you. How much are you going to charge? Like, really, you want to pay me? I thought like TEDx is something that like it's volunteering. Everyone just does that stuff. But honestly, even though the guy paid me, I felt whole that I contributed and I did something like this in the future. So you mentioned about charge and whatever you can actually charge me. Well. Yeah. Everything all depends. If you go to Indeed, if you go to Glassdoor, you see that there's some there's some job roles with more responsibility or less responsibility, with higher range of pay and lesser range of pay. So everything it all boils down to whatever you want, for but I
Yeah.
for I've made researches in the US. The average pay for graphic designers in US is like 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 $50,000 to like $85,000 every year. Yeah, I've been researching about that. If you're like a senior, but I know that the product designers are always paid higher. So the product designers
Hmm.
in the US are like paid like 90, sometimes $80,000, like 110 or 120. A brand designers in Europe and UK, in fact the European
Yeah.
countries have this lesser pay, and I still don't know why. I'm so happy that Air Force gave me that clarity.
Okay.
Because I was like, yeah,
There was
I
Yeah.
don't.
I was just remembering last year I was offered I was interviewing for a company that was a US based company, and their
Mm.
Awesome.
starting salaries for a middle designer, so you've got kind of junior, middle, and senior,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
I
we
was
get it.
going for middle, was 130 USD. So that
Wow.
was,
Yeah,
yeah. So it's
that's
and
great.
so that's around,
That's
That,
that's around it. So that's
yeah.
it. I'm
yeah,
so
yeah.
happy to have you. But yeah, come on, continue, continue. Something to
Yeah,
say.
currently, like the role I got offered, like 90, but I still feel that I need more. I'm still going to think about it and then come back because of what I'm going to bring on the table. And yeah, honestly, I must tell you, like what to charge as a designer all depends on how you see yourself. I can have like I can be the best designer, but I don't know how to sell myself. I don't know what I'm worth, and I'll get a lesser
Yeah.
pay. I can't blame anybody for that. I have to blame myself. Way back, I had this issue of charging. I felt that I if I charge them more, I'm going to scare them away, and they won't come
Exactly.
back.
I had that too. I had that
So
too.
then I saw that, okay, I saw myself as someone that is of as a solution, and if you don't work with me, it's like a win-win. I don't lose. Probably you win or you lose, but I will never
Yeah.
lose. So if I give you my offer or whatever, or the my rates, it doesn't work well with you. No problem, no problem, and then we move on with our life. So that's how I actually got to like move and like, learn how to charge, and I charge a value based, charge. I consider everything, what is going to take me to deliver the project. If
Yeah.
it's going to cost me resources, it's going to cost me like to get some pills, if it's going to cost me to take
Very
some
necessary.
vacation.
Very
Yeah, if it's going
necessary.
to
Very
cost me
necessary.
to get some resource like funds and some stuff, but I'm going to make sure that it's going to be stress free. But that doesn't mean that if I'm working on any non-paid projects, I'll I'll treat it less. So this is that way I work on open source project. Is that way I work on paid projects. Like the energy is the same and the result is still the same.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So,
so
so thank you very much for all your answers to these questions, and I'm very sure that the persons that drop these questions are going to be very happy when you go through the videos afterwards, because you all did justice to the answers, like seriously. And I personally have learned a lot about design today. Like I said, I love design too. So thank you very much. It's a win-win for them and for myself. I'm so happy, Eriol, for like I'm so happy to have you here. I'm so happy.
Thank
I love your
you.
tattoo. I always love your hair and I
Oh,
love your
thank you.
glasses.
I'm gonna get one.
Oh my
I'm gonna get
goodness, that's
one. Sure.
nice.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
The
I have
design,
a
the
bunch of stuff
complexity shows.
I want to do,
Yeah.
but I can't do that over here. I'm
Oh,
gonna
This is
look
over
cool. Yeah,
here
yeah.
doing oh
Yeah, I have some plans to like just get some that, like some not like some fancy ones and then look good. I'm a creator, I'm an
yeah.
artist. My life is
Exactly.
free.
Even
I
the
do
way
stuff, I
she
solve
had the
problems. So
design was nice. Like she didn't need to go over and do it with both
well,
hands. She just did it in one hand and it's so fashionable.
Zara, when you come over, when you come for your first tattoo, I will come with you when
yeah,
Mm,
because it.
like I know that
please,
yeah,
I'm
most
feeling very
of
I'll bring you
emotional.
drinks and
I'm
bring
feeling
you
left
snacks
out.
because it's
I'm
it's
feeling left
it's
out.
hard.
yeah, if you can give me some sketch, I'm good to go. Like I like some stuff like anime, stuff that
No,
just just playing. I'm
That's
like,
nice.
what's
That's
cool?
nice. And your glasses is nice too. Oh, this is
Yeah,
mine. What are
thanks.
the only one not with the glasses? I'm feeling intimidated right now.
you,
Oh.
you know,
Oh.
yeah, you know,
Yeah.
Aero Fox.
So
Um,
that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
noticed
So
some. I noticed something. I like
Mm.
like Shula, right?
yes, please.
Looks
Yes.
like
Yes.
someone that how would I put this? Someone that works a lot. Like says very dedicated and some stuff. I paid attention to those tags and those notes he had up there. Like
Mm.
honestly, it takes a lot
Oh
to have
my
those notes.
god.
That means you have a lot of going on.
Oh
You have
yeah.
activities. You
Seriously,
plan
by
yourself
John.
well. I don't know, but like you're doing a great
Alert.
job.
Like
I know.
I said, I'm a founder, I'm a CEO of a company. I am a freelancer. I work with a company too. So apart from being a freelancer, I also work with another company too. So if I don't get this down, I'm very sure one of them will get to fire me very soon.
Well, I don't know,
So
but
yeah,
I'm
so that's the
great.
reason why I
Anything that
have a
works
lot
for
of
you.
friends there.
Nice.
So much
Yeah.
respect for what
So
you
thank
do,
you very
Sheila.
much for having both of you here. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm so happy
Yeah,
to have both of you here and
yeah,
thank you.
man.
And I hope to do a lot
I'm so
more
happy.
in the
I'm
future.
so happy. I'm so happy.
Yeah. So
Like honestly, doing
we are
this with
supposed to
Ariel Fox is a blessing. Thanks to Ja. Like if I'm get to like to share my thoughts with her, with
yeah,
they
exactly.
and everything is honestly I've been learning. I've been learning. I will keep on learning. And I thought this Ariel Fox is someone that that never pushes me away whenever I reach out to them. They bring me forth. They bring me forth, and so far, knowing Aero Fox has been a blessing because you know it's not everyone that have the patience to work with you or put you through some stuff. More men, like oh god, more their patience is everything. So I appreciate Aero Fox right now, and I'll keep on appreciating her, and I can't wait to
Yeah.
yeah, I
Get
can't.
to see her and do
Man,
amazing things with her.
no,
Oh God. He
like
said it
no,
again. He said it
I'm
again.
going I'm going to prepare jollof rice whenever I head to yeah.
Mm.
Yo, like
I
I'm
miss it.
yeah. The Oscar Fest might happen. I don't know, but I wish
I
you
hope
come
so.
back.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So
thanks a lot for
yeah,
this.
thank you very much for the thank you very much the both of you for being here today and helping me trash out these questions. And I hope to do amazing things more with you in the future and chatting the talk more with you. Thank you very much, Eriol Fox, and thank you very much, Zara, for your time, and I really appreciate it. To have a wonderful evening. Thank
Yeah, you. Oh,
you. Thank you so
bye
much.
Bye.
bye.
Yeah,
Take
bye.
care. Bye
Yeah.
bye.
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 Yeah, take care. Yeah, so yeah. I hope you enjoyed yourself, right? So that is it. Shula's TV Talk show on tech. Today talked about design. So I had the design lord come over and teach us a lot of things. So take your time, go to the YouTube video, if you have questions or things that were noted here you didn't really understand or get to understand them more, you can drop it in the comment section. So I will go through it and I will have to provide answers for your questions under the comment section. So if you drop a question in the comment section, check back in 2 days and you get the answers there. So thank you very much for your time and I hope you please don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Please like the video and subscribe, and don't forget to click on the notification bell too so that when amazing events like this comes up to you, you get notified when we go live and you join. So the next is going to be Shula's Table Talk Show on business. I'm so excited. I am excited. I am excited. I am excited. So what we're going to talk about how to start your business right. So if you really want to know who we are bringing this time around to this table, like this authentic table to trash out how to start your business right, I think you have to go to the Facebook group and follow us on Facebook. So Shula TTS, that's Shula Table Talk Show on Facebook. Like our page and follow the page too. So when I make posts, you get to see it and get notified and get to know who the next person is going to be on business or on tech. So we are going to have the next show on the 24th of this month 24th of, which is the second to last Saturday, or sorry, the last Saturday of the month of this particular month. So don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and click the notification bell for more wonderful videos. Take care and have a wonderful evening.